Life inside the Salvation Army on Kerr Street, a prison for old people? When I first walked through the front door of my apartment at the Salvation Army on Kerr Street, my first thought was, wow, it's so big. The kitchen was the first thing that caught my eye, a full-sized kitchen with a large fridge, a big stove, and plenty of cabinets. I never expected so much space. But one question immediately came to mind: why such a big kitchen in a care unit where meals are supposed to be provided? It didn't make sense. Then, I saw the living room, and the apartment felt even bigger. At the far end of the room, huge windows let in so much natural light. I knew exactly where I wanted to set up my table and computer, right by those windows. The first thing I did was take down the drapes so I could look outside every day. One day, I spoke to the minister, and he told me, if you read the first book of the Bible, you'll understand. If you look up, you'll see heaven. If you look around here, you'll see hell. That stuck with me. And now, every time I lock my door, my apartment feels like my own little piece of heaven. For 4 years, I've had nothing to do with anything inside this building. I only know how to get to the front door, back to my apartment, and to the dining room, nothing more. I have never explored the rest of this place, and the truth is, you must keep your door closed or locked at all times. It's so bad here that I've never had to lock my door anywhere else in my life, but here, it's a necessity. This week, on February 16, 2025, the Salvation Army is putting up cameras everywhere. The Salvation Army on Kerr Street will no longer be called a kindergarten for old people, it will be called a prison for old people. This will be the perfect story to tell, what it's really like to live inside the Salvation Army prison on Kerr Street. And that big kitchen? It made sense after my first 2 weeks. During that time, I was locked in my room, and meals were delivered to me. Now that the Salvation Army has taken over running the kitchen, it's clear that things aren't about providing quality food. Like most people here, I've learned how to cook for myself. The menu may look good on paper, but it's not about what you can actually eat. You have to understand over 70% of the funding comes from Vancouver Coastal Health. So, when officials come to inspect, all they do is walk around, nod, and say, "How beautiful. How wonderful." But the truth? Nothing ever changes. It only gets worse. In the Salvation Army,